doing it while we're waiting on this Sapper. Well, welcome back, my friends all, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors, a Tkell Knives Sapper rendition. It's an 80 CRV2. I believe that's what it says. Let me double check. Yeah, that's what it says. 80 CRV2. Looks like we got some G10 handle scales there. Digging the ergos of this knife. Listen, it's kind of that waffled up G10, and I'm sure somebody will disagree with that. It is a recurve with a modified clip. It's got some nice jimping, bird beak for a pommel with a lanyard thing. Now listen, when I hear the term sapper, I think combat engineer. More than that, when I start thinking historically in the historical sense of a sapper, I believe sapper comes from the French word or the French term, and it was the guys who would tunnel under fortifications and demo them or dig. They were the tunnel diggers. I think about the guys in the Vietnam War, the tunnel rats. I think about the World War I guys who would tunnel their way under fortifications and the counter tunnelers. And what I'm saying here is a tough group of people, tough group of men, because that's what they were, just tough, rugged men who had to have great tools, had to have sharp tools, had to have sturdy tools. And when with this knife, that's what I see. Now, I love history. I don't bring a lot of it into the channel. A lot of times we're just having fun, but I thought about that a lot as we kind of went through the demonstrations. Now, I don't review knives. I never have. I just kind of show you how they work. We don't do anything scientific. We just cut up a bunch of shit, right? And have a ball doing it. Here's the deal. Let's just jump into it. We're looking at let me pull the thickness. I'm looking at 3/16 on the money for the blade stock. Now, guys, I pull all my own measurements, nothing against anybody. I just like doing that. It is 12 inches from the tip to the pommel, as the French would say, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm not French, so that would make a lot more sense. The blade length is 6 3/8, and we've got right at about a 5 7/8 cutting edge. We do have a small sharpening choil there. Has a nice guard on it. So you got that bird beak and you got that guard, and it fits my hand very well. The inner grip is sitting right at 3 7/8 inches. So if you've got like a double or a triple X hand, it might be a little snug. Fits my hand very well. When you drop a pinky under that bird beak, then you go up to about 4.5. I will say this, I tried to cut and stab and do as much as I can. Here's the goal. If you want to know the real goal of my channel, it's to wear the edge down. How long does it take? How many cuts, etc.? How many different mediums can we cut? The tire thing I do just to kind of wear down the edge. And it's fun. I've always liked stabbing tires. Now, I am a scavenger. I've said that from day one. I will always be. I'm not going to sit around and whine about what I have and don't have and can't do and all this shit. I ain't got time for that. I really don't. And no shots, no nothing at anybody. If I can find something to cut, that's what we're going to do. I was over at the studio and Kirk said, man, I got 4 tires I'm never going to use. You want to cut them? I said, well, does a bear shit in the woods? He said, well, it does. I know that for a fact. I didn't want to know how he knew that, but we pulled out the tires, and so we went at it. Here's the thing with stabbing tires, and the truth is, for you guys who follow the channel, y'all know I'm a tire stabbing bastard. But for me, it does a couple of things, right? Now, you've seen how much we cut that tire. We come right back to this Kevlar fire hose. Plenty of edge still left. I like stabbing the tire. It shows me, are there any hot spots on the handle? Is there any slip in that handle? The balance point, you see it. Now, we talk a lot. And I'm guilty of this. We want to talk about a combat utility knife, right? When I think this knife has thrown itself in a whole other category for me. This to me is so much more than just a combat utility knife. I see so much potential with this knife. The balance is there. There's no hot spots. To get back to the stabbing the tires, there's no hot spots. There's no slip. The grip is comfortable. It's got a nice pommel. Everything is chamfered. It does have a 90-degree spine, and you're going to see that soon. It's got a slight recurve. That recurve to me is what kind of sets this one apart a little bit. I've always called that kind of a cheater's edge. There's nothing, I love recurves. It's one of my favorite blade shapes. But there's just something when you get in the bottom of that recurve and you can use that little bit of blade, it gives you a little bit of an edge. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, know what I'm talking about. Those of you who don't, probably never will, and I'm good with that. I can live with that. Now, I say this every video, but we get new people watching every video. I don't really baton in real life. The things that I do in this video, there are a few things. I don't just randomly stab tires unless I'm shooting a video or I'm at work like I am now, and I'm having to cut up a bunch because we're moving. So instead of hauling a bunch of bullshit over there, I am actually using it, but that's a rarity. Batoning is one of those things that has been argued on social media since the invention of knife tube and social media. It just has. I know there are people who've done it their whole lives. There are people who've never heard of it until knife tube. Here's the thing. If you grew up in an area with high humidity, you know what batoning is. Because with batoning, even if it's a smaller stick, you're just trying to get through the outer layer to the inner layer. Or you're trying to break down small to medium logs for some tinder and kindling and things like that. I do like using it during my reviews when it's a knife that's made for it, right? That little sharpening choil, the jimping right above the handle, it's got enough of a pressure release there with the harmonics that unless you're just trying to baton it through a concrete block, I don't think you're going to do any long-term damage. I will say this for the jimping, it's deep enough that I believe you could use it for sighting. I believe if you could probably finagle it away for some cordage making. And I'm not saying that's what it's for. I'm just saying Tim's got some nice deep jimps in there, if you will, that you can do that. Now let me say this about Tkell. The first knife I ever reviewed from them was a gift from Jacob Lamb. There we're just kind of showing the control of the knife, letting it work, the sharpness control, etc. on a piece of water hose. Jacob sent me one of the original Warthogs, and I absolutely fell in love with that knife. And that's been, I don't know, man, that might be 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. It's been a minute. I adore that knife. I've done the Accomplice that was designed by Eric Outer. I've just got another one in, the Adversary. We've got the Sapper. I've done some other knives. The thing with this is this. I've seen Tim improve as he goes. His knives are becoming more and more and more and more in demand. He's kind of got the hot hand right there. Him and Miss Suzanne are awesome people. They've always made time for me. And let me just say this, guys. To me, it ain't about a free knife. I've said this before. I could give a damn about a free knife. I'm serious with that. It's about the relationship that forms between the maker. I like that. I don't want to just review everything. Now, I've got a lot of stuff coming in, right? But I like getting to know the maker, especially the smaller makers who are coming on strong. There are some strong, solid makers now in the USA. There always have been, but it seems to be there's more and more, and Tim is definitely one. All right, here what we're doing is just shaving up a little fat wood, fat, lighter knot, whatever the hell you call it in your region. And trust me when I tell you from the depths of my soul, I don't give a shit what you call it. It is nature's diesel. It is nature's fire, right? It gets it done. I don't know why I didn't edit that part out, but I didn't. There, I moved it closer. There you go, Scab. Good job, son. Cinematographic genius here. Oh, yeah. There it is. There's old Scab coming through hot. Now you know you're in a Choir Boys Outdoors video. Beautiful looking knife. But the thing is this, guys. Tim is one of the hotter hands right now in the knife game. Get something while you can. Now, I believe there's about a 3 to 6 month if you're going to order like a custom or something like that, I believe. Is it worth it? I believe it is. I truly do, just because I think the sky's the limit for him. And he has a solid partner in Miss Suzanne. Now, let me say this too, and we'll move back to the knife. Every Sunday morning, they do a live. I try to join as many as I can, and if you know me, you know I don't do that often, but I like the community that they're building. There's some awesome folks. They are some awesome folks, and then there are some awesome folks. So join us every Sunday, or at least every other Sunday, for that. Now, the thing is this, a 90-degree spine. I am one of the worst when it comes to striking a ferro rod. However, I have some of the sickest lighter knot on the planet. I got some from work, and it's almost like it has an accelerant. It's crazy. It is crazy good. And you see how that lighter knot went up there. The 90-degree spine on Tim's is right above the jimping. I like that. It's smart. Now, we just did some hard throws here. I'm not a knife thrower, as you can tell. I like doing this, and if I tried to tell you there was something behind it, I'd be lying. I like throwing the knife. I like sticking it. If we got to come up with something, if it just has to be a reason, it looks good throwing. I don't know. I guess we could say we're testing the edge tip and all that other shit. This is that sandblast hose, 4-ply, 1-inch inner diameter. Now, Mitchell decided to talk to me right in the middle of while I was trying to cut this. So if you hear something in the background, that's Mitchell telling me he's putting some stringers down. Thank you, buddy. I could tell you were doing that by you being on the forklift and the dunnage anyway. So it made short work of the sandblast hose. You say, Scab, it's taking a minute. Well, it's taking a minute because I had to stop and talk to Mitchell and not cut my damn finger off. The sandblast hose, guys, in spots when you see me cutting it again, it's not brand new sandblast hose. I have zero desire to get fired from cutting up new sandblast hose. But once it's blown out quite a bit, so typically you'll have one side that's pretty thin, but then you'll have the other side that's insanely thick. The sandblast hose is a tough medium to cut at the beginning, much less at the end. The reason that it went through it pretty good, I believe, is Tim put a nice toothy edge on this knife. And I'll tell you why that speaks to me also. With a toothy edge, it kind of fits the knife, right? Kind of fits the name, Sapper, a combat engineer, a do-all knife. We always, and I think it's just the dude in us, always want to take it back to that combat knife fighting, and that's cool, man. I love an aggressive knife. You'll never hear me making fun of that because I'm right in line with that. I like that kick-ass, badass look. But when you throw a good toothy edge on that 80 CRV2, man, you got a knife that's going to cut and cut and cut and stab and cut. Now, I realize that's pine. I'm usually trying to stab down into some kind of lighter knot or something in there. I hate tip testing. I know that people think it's essential, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I just hate doing it. Sometimes I feel like with that tip testing, it just becomes more of a show of strength of the reviewer more so than the knife. Now, I added a little bit of chopping only because I didn't think I had any chopping. The ergos of the handle are nice. I got a good grip. I had to readjust a couple times. My fingers have been wanting to mess with me today. But once I got my grip, I was able to hang in there. It hits hard, guys. It's not a chopper. It's not made to be a chopper. This is a slicer, a cutter, a slasher, a stabber. If you need to chop with it, you can. And with it being certainly falling under that Sapper style tool, absolutely, if you needed to, you could. But I don't think that's, one of its strong designations. Would I carry it? Well, hell yeah, I'd carry it. I'm going to carry it. I love the damn thing. I really, truly do. I like the fit. I like the finish. I like the ergos. That leads me to that. Looking good there, Scab. That leads me to this, guys. There was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. Man, you have a place here. Guys, I back the blue. It's not popular, and well, I'm not here to be popular. My kid's a cop, but before he was, I did. I've backed the blue since I had this channel. I have my reasons. You don't have to agree with them. I'm not arguing with you, and I'm not trying to shove it down your throat. Finally, if you are an addict, and well, Lord knows I am, never quit quitting. I'm scared. You're not. The Sapper. It's badass, son. We gone. Love y'all.